I'm good, good. How are you?
Good, good. All's well.
Yeah, thanks for finding the time in between the workouts.
No problem, man. Anytime.
I know y'all probably getting back to normal, getting back to that busy in the gym lifestyle.
Yeah, I just started getting back on the court last Friday. So
Uh-huh.
I've been on the court a couple times. Just trying to get my rhythm back. Just trying to get the normal basketball moves back. But yeah. So I mean, it's starting to ramp up again.
How does it feel now though? Is it hard to be back on the court after a while?
Yeah, the first day I felt I told my guy that I felt like one of the Space Jam characters. He lost his powers. Um, felt like I just felt super awkward. But now it only probably took me like a couple of days to get back. So now that
Mhm.
I feel I'm still not at where I need to be, but I feel like I'm better, and I feel like there's starting to be. I feel somewhat like a basketball player again. I guess you could say.
Mhm. Yeah, the good point is there's still a lot of time before the season starts, so
Yeah,
you have your time to prepare and get ready.
yeah. We have almost, I think, 8 weeks before I
Mhm.
gotta leave for training camp. So it's a good amount of time. But like I said, I feel like I'm getting there.
8 weeks means it's like early August, mid-August.
Yeah, early mid August we gotta go back. Yeah,
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 that's the reality of Europe. I remember when Aaron was like, "Man, too early."
yeah. Man, that's the worst part. Like you have to go back, but until you get that actual date and that reality kind of comes in, then you're like, oh man,
Uh-huh.
you start counting down the weekends, start counting down the days. But like I said, it's part of the job. It's part of reason why we play. So
Hmm.
is what it is.
All right. So I wanted, like I told you before, I prepared the video. There's about, I want to say 12 moments on both
Yeah.
offense and defense. From your career, I want to say there's something from Greece, something from Germany, something from CSKA.
Okay.
So I was really interested to know what's going on in your mind, how you make decisions, and I feel that it will be useful for both coaches to understand what a player of your level is going through, and also good for players to know how they can make decisions better and what they should look at.
Okay.
So, let me turn the camera. You probably can see it well, and I bet you even know the moment.
Yeah.
So first one is just the block on the help side. And my question is here, how do you make a decision? Why and when do you decide that you're okay? I see him driving, now I have to go and block it.
Well, that's my responsibility. So you can see where, as their Nene Christian's number 32, I mean, well, the dark defender number 32 kind of lifts up. So you can see Nene Christian pointing to me because he
Uh-huh.
was the original help man. Now I'm the original help man. So I think once I see Nene kind of step up, and then I kind of realize that I'm the second line defender help, and that's when I go jump. And that's when I kind of have to use my athletic ability to kind of make sure he doesn't dunk it. But yeah, that's kind of what my thought process is. I'm looking at Nene, number 12, and as he kind of moves up the lane, then that's when I know it suddenly becomes my help, and that's when I kind of take the I guess 2 steps into a jump. Something that I work
Mhm.
on, something that I work on with my trainer. During the off season, we work on those motions, those steps. To make sure that I'm able to kind of replicate those same things in the game. Like 2 slides and then a jump, those type of things.
Okay, and if we're talking about the offense, would it be harder for you to time the jump if the guy would shoot on the first step instead of the two?
Yeah. I mean, like for this one, it's fairly easy for me to get the timing down because he's only going on 1 foot and he only has one direction really to go. So even though it looks like our defender is getting blown by, I guess you can say Victor Crap at this point, but he's kind
Hmm.
of doing, he's kind of, I guess you say, kind of helped me out a little bit, kind of eliminating, him, the abilities to have the, space to kind of, pump fake or kind of do like a secondary move. So I know he's kind of going off of 1 foot. If he went off of 2 feet, then that's what kind of what trainers always say, or people or coaches always say. If you go off with 2 feet, it kind of gives you more options. Then you can do a scoop, you can jump hop or do a pro hop. But yeah, from this instance, like I knew he only had one instance, so I knew if as long as I went straight up, that I would have to block it.
Got it. Next one against Ephes. And first, these will be all blocks pretty much. So I want to say pretty much. I wanted to ask the same thing. When would you know that it's your time to go, and you're not only contesting, but you're really trying to get a piece of the ball?
Well, I mean, number one, Danny Hackett does a great job of kind of walling up the defender. So he's kind of the initial help. So I know from scouting report wise that I know that Shane, Larkin in this case, once he drives, he's not going to pass the ball.
Okay.
Just because of his tendency, but also because he's just kind of he's a little bit of a shorter guard. So once he gets to the paint, 9 times out of 10 he's going up to finish. He's not going to to pass the ball. So once I know that, then I'm able to kind of fully commit. So when I see Danny walls him up, almost probably like right before he kind of gets to the paint line, that little half semicircle of the paint line, I'm going all the way in. I know he's going to shoot the ball from right here. But once I see him commit, you can already see him already making my slide. And once I see him line, then I'm like, all right, I got to fully commit.
Okay, got it. And let's just watch it again. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to do something with that on offense. And then, can you talk a little bit more here on the switch? How you're able to stay in front of the guard? What's your thought process? How do you figure out that this is the distance that you should have in order not to let him shoot an easy jumper, and still not to let him blow by easily?
Well, yet again, it's all about kind of they say in the league, know your personnel, KYP. So I know the personnel. I know that in this case is Guy Meckel. I know that he's not such a great shooter. So
Okay.
I'm able to kind of I guess Coach Atutis always says hand lifts or armless distance. So I try to say, when you see my initial defense now, if he was a lockdown shooter, or if he was a knockdown shooter, somebody like J.C. Carroll, or even like in the NBA like a Steph Curry type player, then I would try to push up on him a little bit more. But right now, I'm trying to stay hand distance, so that way if he does shoot the shot, I'm still able to kind of contest it. If I make him contest, then I kind of done my job. So for me, he tried to get. So you can see what he was trying to do. He's trying to get me off balance. So that's why kind of the shot, the step, the stutter kind of in out. I want to force him. I want him to go left. I know he's a strong right driver. He likes his right hand is dominant, but I want him to go left. So see, he tries. It looks like he was trying to get me to bite on the left and then do the crossover back to the right. And then once I didn't bite, that's when he kept going left. So as he goes left, from this point, I know where he's going. I know he, like I said, I know before, I know he only has one option. He can't pass the ball. And I think that's Ivan. Or maybe it's Nando. Looks like Nando. I can't see what it is. Number 7. So it's Ivan. So he does a great job too of kind of necessarily being a distraction, where it kind of like almost limits where he can kind of go. And as he's going up, like I said, he goes up with 1 foot again. I'm able to kind of block it. Like I said, I know where he's going, and I can, as a defender, sometimes I can kind of dictate and kind of force guys where I want them to go. And this is, I wanted him to go left, and I want him to kind of drive. That way I was able to retreat to kind of, be able to contest the layup.
Yeah, man. Coach is not happy.
But Iman, like I said, Iman does a great job of just being there. Like I said, because look, he makes him almost alter his shot. So he comes up, he thinks he has a left hand layup. Now he has to kind of alter his shot in the space, and that gives me time to raise and block the shot at the same time. That's what I was saying right there, where he was trying to get me, like he was trying to get me to bite off the left, and like he wanted to do the left or right crossover hesitation. left, and like he wanted me to go back right there, and then you see I didn't bite. That's what he said. He had to keep going. But you see where I have my hand? It's kind of a legal play, a little bit further back. You see where I have my hand on his hip a little bit? So I'm able to kind of, as he makes his move, I'm able to kind of, it's probably a foul in most cases, but it's something kind of a veteran move. I'm able to kind of push him in the direction where I want him to go, kind of use his momentum against him right there.
Because if you don't do it, he can get a better angle, right?
Exactly.
And now he basically have to do like banana drive.
And see how I still have throughout it all, throughout his still motion, I still have my hand on his hip. So essentially, I'm kind of pushing him towards Yvonne. So I'm using his momentum to push him towards Yvonne to make him change his shot, and then I'm able to take the 1-2 step gather and block the shot.
And it's basically, it could be a good, I want to say, a good tip for defenders, just how they use these small trips, these small tips, just to gain advantage on defense.
Exactly. Like I said, now I'm pushing him where I want him to go, and it's something that the referee can't see. Most referees don't see. And then just as he goes up, I'm able to block the shot. Yeah, this is just that one's just a lucky play. I just happened to be there, and I happened to be in the. So basically, this isn't really my help. So as our scheme goes, the initial help was Joel's help, and then the secondary help was supposed to be. It looked like that was Giannis Strumming. It's technically supposed to be his help, but because I guess you'd say I'm kind of like I'm floating around. I'm able to kind of be in the paint and kind of be able to alter the shot. And these are drills that like we basically do, like when at Cheska with Coach Atuda. These are drills that we kind of do every day. So it's like basically what he does is like the ball, whoever's guarding the ball basically will start behind the man. And then from there, start behind the man. So basically the on guard, the offensive player has the advantage. The offensive player has the advantage going to the basket. It's basically going to cause the help. So the weak side man comes over and helps. So then the backside man has it usually rotate over to his man. And then we have the secondary or the helpers help, or the helpers help. If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Basketball wise, if that makes sense.
And this one, I just love how you're able to still do that hard show and go back.
Yeah.
And
again,
yeah,
go to what you're saying. So that's something like I said that I work on. It's something that I work on during the summers with my trainer. So we work on these type of moves. So we do like a drill where it's like I have to hedge and I have to get back and recover. So these are type of things I have to do. So I'm able to hedge initially on the ball. In this case, is Mike James. So I'm able to we do a drill where it's like I have to hedge, touch the ball, and then sprint back to my man. And then, like I said, this is just a drill that we do all the time. So we have like literally the same alignment that we would do in practice all the time. So that's why it's like instinctively for me to be there. So Voro Von Savage knows that I'm supposed to be on the backside help. So his job is basically because he's my helper. He's my help. He's basically running his man off the line, and I have to help him recover him. This is something that we do all the time in practice. We have to do this drill in practice all the time. And like I said, it's just instincts right here.
Okay. And basically, as soon as you get to your man, your number one job is to find the ball, right?
Right. Basically, yeah. So that's where you can see where my head's at. My head's kind of on a swivel, and I'm looking to see where the ball is at. And as soon as I see it, I already know. So you can see, as soon as I see him, go to close out, I already know that he's trying to drive him off the lane. So then I'm kind of starting making my way towards the basket. I'm actually late, but I'm trying to block the shot. In normal situations, what coaches will want they would want my feet to be touching the outside of the paint for the charge.
Okay. Okay. And one thing I love by watching all these moments is that you always have your hands up.
Yeah,
They're not completely down, but they're somewhere in the middle where you're still able to contest the shot and also try to like steal it when the ball is going up.
yeah. I mean, for me, it's like I'm kind of old school in where my defensive mentality, where it's like even where so I'm always looking to number one because my wingspan is my greatest length, right? I mean my greatest strength. So my length is my greatest strength. So I'm always trying to use my wingspan to be able to cover spaces. And if I'm able to do that, then it's able to kind of eliminate a lot of things what people can do. And then I'm old school in kind of my shot blocking where um, I like Bill Russell. I study Bill Russell, and one of the things that Bill Russell always says, like when you block shots, he used to hate it when guys block shots and blocked it out of bounds. And he'd be like, "What is the point of that? You're blocking the shot, and you send it out of bounds, but the team still has the ball." So I kind of picked it up early when I was like in high school. That when you block shots, try to keep try to keep the ball in play. That's always kind of the main goal of mine. It's like I never really try to block shots, out of bounds. I try to keep the
Yep.
ball in play.
Because you basically gave a possession to the opposing team if you just
Exactly.
block it to the stands.
Exactly. It defeats the whole purpose. It looks cool, but it doesn't really give you anything.
Yeah, it looks cool for sure.
Yeah.
And this one is a real throwback, I guess.
Yeah.
So here, first, I wanted just to ask you, what's your mindset when you're as an offensive rebounder? What's your goal? Are you trying to see where the ball is hidden, where the defense is located, or you're just trying to get a ball no matter what?
I think number one is just pursuit of the ball. That's the biggest thing. Like, offensive rebounding is all about just finding pursuit of the ball. So that's my main thing. I'm locked in right now for when he shoots the ball to try to find where the ball is going to go and try to find the best angle to where it's going to go. So my eyes are locked in on the ball. So like I said, I'm seeing from here. I see he's blocking it, and if right there, I'm just pursuing it. So it doesn't matter, like no necessarily real technique. For me, as far as like offensive rebounds, it's just about trying to, be in the best area in pursuit of the ball.
Got it. And then this one is going to be the go-to that we talked about earlier.
Oh yeah, the right to left
Well,
crossover. Yeah, that's the go-to move.
so what is? I know it's pretty simple, but still, what's your thought process? Are you just making automatically, or at this point you're thinking, okay, if the defender is not is open up middle for me, I'll just go straight there.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a setup move, like we talked about before. It's about always trying to you need one or two moves. You need a counter, you need a go-to move. So this kind of developed as almost as a counter because I'm a strong right-hand driver. So in the post, number one, I'm not the greatest back down post player. So my whole thing is to try to get guys sliding. So if you go back a little bit, I know this big is slower than me. I know his footwork is slower than mine. So if I'm able to kind of get him sliding in one direction. So right now I'm dribbling out to create space. So when I catch the rebound, I'm dribbling almost like a retreat dribble out to try to see if he follows me so he can open up that baseline. I'm dribbling out, and then when I take the one strong dribble this way, I know I have all that space on the baseline to make the crossover move. So and then probably for him, he knows that I want to go right. So he's trying to take off my strong right drive. So I'm able to cross over, get the space, and once I get the space, like I said before, last time we talked, I always use the rim as a protector. That's something that I learned. So, when I make the crossover, rather than trying to finish on the same side, I use the rim as protection, not only for the shot block for my defender, but also you see the weak side defender. The weak side defender, in this case, I think it's James Augustine.
Yeah.
He can't block the shot because I'm using the rim as protection and using the backboard as protection.
Yeah, we can see where he's jumping. And then basically, if we're talking about the angles, if you would do that cross here or even here, there would not be enough space in the baseline to go for that drive. All right. Now I get those few post plays that you have.
Yeah. This is on a mismatch. So that's why
Uh-huh.
I'm posting the ball. So it's a mismatch here. And for me, I know that I'm a left shoulder post player. Majority of my
Okay.
moves off of the left shoulder. So I'm trying to get in a position where I like to post generally is that one or two notches, I guess you can call it, in the paint. So that way I know if I can get them to the middle, then I have all that room on the opposite side to spin
Okay.
and get all that space I'm able to use
Mm-hmm.
to get to that angle to where I want to get my left shoulder and be able to finish.
Mm-hmm. This is smart because
So
even if
yeah,
you're a strong right-handed driver and you're not using your left much, if the defense is letting you go middle, it will be even worse. It will be collapse AD.
exactly.
In the next one in the post against Pancrash.
Yeah, same mismatch situation. So first I'm catching the ball, and then one of the things that all coaches kind of teach you, same move, but when I catch the ball initially, I know it's a mismatch situation, so I know that potentially there's a double team coming.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of catch the ball, you know, I see the cut, which I probably should have passed the ball right there to Chacho because he was open
Mm-hmm.
initially on the cut. He makes the cut. I probably could have snuck the pass in right there to him. But then I see his man coming on, the other man, the corner man coming on the backside. So I hold the ball, and I don't make my move until he leaves. So once he leaves,
Mm-hmm.
see, I look him off. I look him off. I look at his man, and he leaves once I look him off because he's thinking I'm going to pass the ball.
Mm-hmm. Because if you start dribbling here,
Yeah,
this will be easier for defensive trap, right?
exactly. So I look him off, and then once I see him go, then I know I have space to make my move. So it's almost the same. I like posting up higher in the mid post because, like I said, my go-to move in this situation is try to get back to my left shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Similar.
Very similar here.
That's DeAndre Kane, I think.
Yeah, DeAndre Kane. So it's another mismatch situation. I think this is in this game is like the second or third time we've had the same mismatch. So I already know that they're not. I know that they're not coming to trap. So like I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even worried about. I think that's Tariq Black right there showing his hand. I know it's going to be 1-on-1, so that's why I'm able to kind of get into my move a little bit more. And then from there, it's just kind of 1-on-1. It's just me thinking like, listen, I'm bigger than him. I'm stronger than him. So I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take this ball right in his chest and try to finish. So I don't even really go to the middle. I kind of just, I'm dribbling down. I see the cut. The same Chacho's kind of getting out of the way. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, I'm just like, I know I'm bigger and I know I'm stronger than him. So I'm just going to take this right to his chest. And I'm not even trying to get to the middle of this case. I'm just trying to go turn right into his chest. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, the left shoulder is my go-to move.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I wanted to ask on the catch, I'm watching your feet, and as soon as you, 1 second, when you caught the ball, you're basically taking a step with your right towards the defender's frame.
Yeah.
Is it the goal for you to kind of like see if he's going to back down to get you extra space?
Yeah, so I mean, I learned something I worked on that the previous summer was taking post ups and taking moves in that area. So right there, where you said when I'm moving my right leg, I'm trying to move my right leg in between, almost in between his two legs, to try to
Mm-hmm.
see what he's going to do and see if he's going to see how he's going to react. So if I move, which I probably should exaggerate a little bit more, but if I move my right leg and my shoulder into his chest a little bit more, then generally
Mm-hmm.
what most people are going to do, they're either going to back up or they're going to get off balance. In this case, he kind of stays straight up because he's a little bit of a stronger defender. And then there, it's just kind of me, just kind of like I said, just me just saying, look, I'm just going to put my shoulder into your chest, and then I feel like I have the superior superior strength in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. And I also wanted people to understand that here you're dribbling more middle just to make
Yeah,
sure you have a better angle for the turn.
exactly. For me, it's like I'm trying to create all that space on my turn, like you said. So it's like I could have easily probably, I could have easily probably just kept backing down. But if he's a great defender and he pushes me out to that other hash mark, then I'm finishing my shot on the baseline, closer to the yellow.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I'm able to try to get to the middle a little bit and then take that dribble, then it gives me, number one, the angle for the backboard, to use the backboard, have the option to use the backboard,
Mm-hmm.
or for me to kind of spin, and if he takes it away, still be able to fake and come back out of it.
Mm-hmm. Got it. And I want to say I have three more.
Yeah. So this is basically what we talked about before with the crossover move. I think it's the same player, same situation. So a little bit different situation, but you can kind of see how where I catch the ball at.
And the first thing that you do when you catch the ball, you check your man's stance and
Yeah.
where the help side is located, right?
So I'm looking when I catch the ball initially. I'm looking at where all the other four defenders are at, and kind of seeing where I can kind of create space. And then I'm looking at my man right here, and I see that he backed up. You see when I called the ball initially, he was on me, and then he backs up. So once he backs up, I'm like, all right, I know I have the space. So this is almost the same situation before. I think it's the same player that that he does. He first time he took away the middle, and I was able to use a crossover. The second time, I'm able to drop my shoulder, which is very important. Which I think a lot of guys that talk about angles. I drop my shoulder lower than his shoulder, and then I'm able to kind of get to finish on the right hand.
Yeah, and it's just like simple principle: lowest man wins.
Exactly.
No matter how strong the defender is, if you're that low, I don't know what has to be done in order to stop you.
Yeah, I mean, if you get this, if you're able to get this low, then you should be able to finish 9 times out of 10. You should be able to have a path to the basket 9 times out of 10. The finish is up to you, but for me, like I said, my whole thing is like, if I'm able to get lower, if I'm able to drop my shoulder lower, and I kind of see how I kind of try to use the offhand a little bit.
Yeah.
So I use the offhand a little bit to kind of drop my shoulder, and then from there, once I get my shoulder lower than his shoulder, then I have the full path to get to the basket, or at least create not finish or be able to create a shot for one of my teammates.
And I think that should be also a great tip for younger, either post players or the guards who are driving. You're going right at him. You're hitting him. It's not where you're giving him space to recover.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this game is all about a contact game and about space. So you're trying to, take up as much space as possible. And also, as an offensive player, you're trying to be usually the player that wins. From my experience, is the player that kind of initiates the first contact. If you initiate the first contact, then usually you're the player that's going to usually take the advantage. These are some throwback plays. I don't even remember these plays.
I tried.
Yeah, so this is just high school, elementary, I guess you say post up. what you learn at basketball camp. We got the switch, and then you see how I'm trying to ride my man up the paint, so that way Spanulis has enough room to be able to get the pass. So see where I'm at. If I stay there, then he's not gonna be able to pass the ball to me. But if I'm able to ride my man up the paint and then use my my left hand to kind of give him a target to where to throw it at, so that way where I ride him at, you see where I have all that space to catch the ball.
Yes.
So that's my kind of my main goal, my main objective. That I see the switch, and let me try to ride my man up the paint so I can be able to give Spanulis an opportunity to to give me the pass.
And I think it may be hard to see if we don't watch it in slow-mo, but if we do it now, it clearly can be seen how much space you're eating.
Yeah.
It was here in the beginning, and then boom, 1 foot, but that's crazy.
And then also the fake too, because one thing Coach Atutis always says is the value of fake. And that's something I learned early on being a smaller post player. So I know this defender. I know that the other defender is coming, and the only way that he's going to possibly his last line of defense is to block the ball and block the shot.
Mm-hmm.
So by me using the fake, it gives me an opportunity to, number one, gather myself, but also, use his aggressiveness against him. And I think this is an and one, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too, just based on the refs.
Yeah.
But I love that detail that when you're faking, you're not 1 second. You're not like bringing the ball all the way up. It's just you first finding the basket with the eyes, and then defenders jumping on that already.
Yeah, that's sometimes all you need. Like, you don't need to like super exaggerate the fake, because literally all you're doing is like this really, I'm not even moving the ball, as you said. It's me just kind of going up, and literally, like, it's not even necessarily a fake. I'm just catching the ball and I'm waiting. I know he's gonna jump, and once he jumps, then I'm just gonna jump right back into him. So I'm almost jumping, like, I probably could have dunked that one, but I'm gonna see how I kind of jump back into defender, because once he leaves the ground, I know he's there. So I jump back into him to kind of almost get the foul. Kind of being greedy, trying to get an extra point. And one.
And then if we go, when you explained your defense on Gal Mikhail, same thing. If he could create the contact,
Yeah,
then it would be harder for you to block him. Like
exactly.
you're jumping more backwards.
Exactly. Like I said, usually the person that initiates the contact is usually the person that has the advantage.
And I got one more left. 1 second. Again, Kimki again. Man, for some reason, it was always Kimki.
You're picking on Kimki today. It's the same. This is kind of just luck. But I mean, it's also positioning at the same time. So this is something I really don't do anymore, but I probably should do more of. But so I'm coming off the screen. I'm opening up. So my main thing is when I'm playing pick and roll, especially with like great pick and roll players, to always try to give them an outlet for the pass. So I always try to stay on the same line as them. So you see where I'm at with Spanulis right here. I'm trying to stay in the same line, so that way if he gets in trouble, then I can also give him an outlet for a pass. So then his defender, they're utilizing like almost like a triple switch, I guess you can say. So basically what I do is I just basically try to use my wide base and use my shoulders again to kind of get to the shot I want to get to. And like I said, that was kind of a fortunate, kind of lucky instance. I was kind of like in really good position, but I wouldn't have been in that position if I didn't stay on the same line as Spanulis, because I knew that if he got in trouble, that he would need an outlet.
Yeah.
So this is why you can see, like, we start, I'm on the same line as him, still on the same line. And even when I bump into the guy here, I'm still on the same line to try to give him, still trying to give him an outlet. See? Then he's able to find me once he kind of gets in trouble, and then I'm able to kind of make a play out of it. Lucky enough, like the defender reaches for the ball, and I see the opening.
And I love these small details. I mean, it's simple. It's not flashy. It's not where you're doing something crazy with the ball. It's just you being smart and understanding the spacing.
And for like young players out there, or for even like overseas guys, or just in general, like these are ways that you steal points. These are ways that you're able to kind of like add 4 to 6 points in your game just by positioning, just by small details. And these can kind of help you get easy 2 to 3 baskets that you probably wouldn't normally get in the offense or something else. It's just basically just being in the right position. And sometimes, like you said, if you're in the right position, then sometimes lucky things happen.
And the last couple of moments when you're finishing, one thing that I also notice is when your body and the body of defender, they are on the same level, you're extending the ball in front, so it's even harder for defense to touch.
Yeah. So you see kind of how like I'm trying to like extend the ball out there a little bit. Because I know, like you said, right now we're on the same line. So when I kind of do the spin move, we're on the same line. But if I'm able to kind of take the contact and then extend the finish, and that kind of puts me in a a little bit of a better position. Similar to here too, where I'm able to take the contact first or establish the contact first, and then finish, and then kind of stretch out and finish.
Last thing I wanted to ask here, when you're rolling, where are you looking at first?
The first thing I'm looking at, like I said, I'm always trying to give the pick and roll player an outlet. So in this case, I know they're going to hedge. I know that they're going to trap Spinoulis, or they want to trap Spinoulis. So I'm trying to give him an outlet. So that's the first place I'm looking. The second thing I'm looking at that weak side man right there, the bump. So I'm trying to see what he's going to do and where he's going to go. So this instance, he stays. So sometimes I'm bumping him so that way I can almost set like a pick. So in this instance, it didn't work out, but you can see where number 6 is in the red, the guy that's rotating up to the top of the key. If I'm able to pick his man, and let's say, for example, they didn't switch, then he would have a wide open shot on the backside. So initially, I'm looking at the ball handler, and then I'm also looking at where the weak side defenders are. So once I know where the weak side defenders are, then I'm able to kind of know what my next move is, whether I can catch the ball and finish, whether I can catch the ball out and make a pass to the corner, or where I can catch the ball and make a pass to the top of the key. So those are kind of the first two things I'm always looking for.
Got it, man. That was a great one. That's short and efficient. But one thing I wanted to ask you before we go, what did you do in order to understand the spacing and understand where you have to be? Was it watching extra film, or it was more just an instinct?
Well, first it was film work. Watching film, breaking down clips, just knowing where I had to go. And then second, it was just drilling it. Like a lot of times, like I said, I work on different things with my trainer. So it's like literally like we'll work on game instant things. So we'll work on, like I said, on defensively. Like what are the things that I'm usually doing, in the games. So it's like I'm hedging, getting back to my man, sprint cover, and then trying to do a closeout on the other side. So we work on those things, the footsteps, those type of things. And even like on pick and roll stuff, we work on, me catching the ball in the short roll, and then the help defender coming and me making the pass out, me making the proper pass out. So those are little things that I work on, so that way it can kind of almost become instinctual. So that way I'm not even thinking about it anymore. So I know that if I'm in a pick and roll, I know where my man or where the defender is already at. So it's film work and just habits and just drilling it. And those are things I try to do. I try to do a lot of. I know some guys do like a lot of reps and a lot of stuff like that, and they get a lot of shots up, or when they work on kind of crazy stuff in the off season. For me, I just work on a lot of game stuff and game situations, things that that I feel like I can help improve myself and help improve my team.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, Kyle, I can't thank you enough for your time. And for the ones who missed it, I'll save it just because I will be rewatching it for sure. And I'm sure the ones who missed it, they should watch it too, especially the young players.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the reason why we're doing this, so that, young players and other players out there can kind of, see what I see, but also see, try to learn from it as well.
And can you talk the last thing? Can you talk about what you do with the project, where you invite the players to talk on your platform, and also Alec Peters doing the breakdowns?
Yeah, so we have 2 projects going on right now on GTM Productions, GTM Family Productions, which is my my production company, along with a couple of my friends. So we have a podcast called the Hoops Tales Podcast. So basically, we invite guys on, and we basically give them an opportunity to kind of tell their stories, allow them to kind of to talk about their journeys, for a number of different reasons. Number one, just to give guys a voice, give guys a platform. I think that's something that that is missing, especially for guys that play overseas. And then number 2, for young players and for other players to kind of learn from their stories and learn about their journeys. So that way they can kind of either use them as a blueprint of things that they want to do, or use them as a blueprint of things that they shouldn't do. So, I think for those, a lot of those, a lot of the episodes that we have, I think have kind of been great from those standpoint. And then with Alec Peters, we kind of, been doing this project where he's been basically doing almost similar to what Kobe Bryant was doing with the detail, where he's
Mm-hmm.
breaking down signature moves of of some of EuroLeague's best players. So he's already done Mike James, he's done Toko Sengelia, Larkin, and then from this you can kind of see it from a player's perspective. The reason why these players are who they are and why they've had so much success.
Mm-hmm. Great, thank you. And I'll make sure in description I add the Hoop Sales podcast.
Please,
Drop the name
please
so
do.
people can find it, and
Yeah, please
also
do.
the account name for the breakdowns. Well, thank you again
Yeah,
for
man.
your time.
Anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
Peace.